Hello, Danielle. Long time no chat.
Yeah, you've been gone for like 3 weeks. Good to see you
Uh,
back.
yeah, I think it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Good times, homestead with Jen and Steve. This is the first time I think I see you here. Welcome to the channel.
Awesome.
Danielle, how is everything going on your homestead? Are you pressure canning? Oh, you're canning at the moment. What are you canning right now? Well, welcome. That I'm guessing that means this is your first time. I can't hear you. Are you there? Okay. So,
Yeah, it was some noise.
so you had like a rhinoceros going down your stairs?
Yeah, well, they're walking up here. They don't need to go downstairs as long as they're in their entrance. Hear them very very loud.
So it's like you have a living monster in the upstairs closet.
Yeah,
So how is everyone's gardening season going?
finally kicked off.
Finally kicked off. What, it just started for you?
Yeah, well, it's been a week since I started harvesting some stuff. Well, I mean, there's always like that odd tomato here, like a few peas here, two or three radishes here. But for the last week, it's been like steady peas, beans. I could harvest some carrots if I wanted to, but I want to leave them there so they can grow even more. Few squash, like two or three squash every day. It's right on right now, like tomatoes, a handful of tomatoes every day. I
That's
actually
nice.
have enough next to the window. I could make something with. My
Nice.
daughter can't eat them all.
The harvest is average, but went to the market today, got some bargains and some pickles and tomatoes to canned tomatoes and fermenting pickles. Nice.
Cool.
I don't have access to a market close by. I really hope one day there's something that happens like less than an hour from my house, because that would be nice to like pick the brain of a farmer and buy in bulk, because like for them bulk buying means not getting stuck with harvest.
I'm lucky we have one around here, 15 minutes away.
Nice, that's a good thing, having a good harvest, but the season is so cold still. Yeah, it is definitely an odd, weird season. Hello, Ecocentric Homestead. Yes, finally getting some cherry hot peppers.
Cool.
What is cherry hot peppers? Or you're talking that you have cherry tomatoes and hot peppers? Welcome back, Marilyn. I'm happy that it has been hot at your place. We're having like this weird thing going on where we have one full week of extreme heat and then a lot of rain and then a lot of cold and then a lot of hot. So it's like Mother Nature does not know what to do with us this year. So the peppers and tomatoes are definitely not where they should be at my house yet.
Plus, it's been nice during the day and colder during the night.
Yeah. Hello, Annie. Ooh, finishing salsa. Oh, Arkansas. Cherry hot or little round peppers you can buy pickled usually. Really? I did not know that. Something I have to go check out. It's called cherry hot peppers. Are they very hot? We are in Canada. I am in the province of Quebec. Remi is in the province of New Brunswick. So we have similar weather, but you are a little bit more cold. Like you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have
A lot.
same like. I think the difference between me and you is the humidex and more snow.
Oh, yeah. We're where we are right now in the northern of the province. There's like this different current coming through, and it's colder than anywhere else.
Hmm.
We get more snow and we get more more cold. Like I can just cross over the province, go up north on the province of Quebec, and it's not even as bad as what we get here.
Okay, so you're like in a microclimate.
Yeah,
Nights here is not that warm either. I'm seeing Danielle saying that it's getting cold at night. I
hmm
think I had the most 20s last night, and I think we went under that the night before. Thank God the majority of my peppers is in my high tunnel
yeah.
because I mean I have to start closing the sides of my tunnel like probably before the end of August. Because if it goes down before below 15 degrees Celsius during the night, I'm seriously gonna have to button up my tunnel for my peppers because they will not change colors this year if I don't keep or maintain some weather inside the tunnel. Marilyn says same during Sundays in July. Right now, about 10 degrees Celsius. Aye, that's cold. Well, no, well, it's cold, but at least you don't need the air conditioning, like the air conditioner. Uh,
You need to
I
put the on. It's not better.
well, I like in between, like not too hot, not too
Yeah.
cold. If it goes like 28 during the day and goes in like the 20s during the night and there's a breeze, I'm a happy camper. Like,
Between 17 and 20 is where I like to sleep.
yeah, well, obviously we had a couple of nights we had to put the air conditioning on. We are in close to Montreal, so we did have some nights that were 32, 33, 34, no breeze. So you're like kind of in a sauna.
Too
So
bad.
yeah, that was hot. But now I think we're done with hot nights. I think it's gonna be like cooler nights. Haha, no, we forgot the windows open the other night. The heater on. That's a weird wake up call. The heater in the middle of summer.
Mm,
As for my part, my gardening season is a bit odd. I am doing some experiment at my house. I sowed and transplanted my tomato later. So instead of starting my seeds on March 17 of my tomatoes, I started April 1st, my first batch, and my second batch was April 7th. So that's almost like 3 weeks after. And I transplanted my tomatoes on June. I think it's June 5th instead of the last week of May. But I did not have those big, tall trees. So overall, I had like acceptable tomato plants in size. And last year at this date, I was picking like baskets and baskets and baskets of tomatoes. But this year, I just started harvesting maybe 5 pounds every other day. So I'm
wow.
seeing that that's different. But on the other hand, I didn't have the trees and all the Tetris thing I had to do inside the house. So yes, I had a lot of tomatoes last year at this date, but I I had to deal with such a complication. But my indeterminate tomatoes, Amish paste, there's full of tomatoes on it. My Ropreco in the high tunnel paste tomato is doing amazing. I don't have blossom and rot that much in the tunnel. My cherry tomatoes are like producing so much I have to dehydrate them. There is one paste style tomato that I tried this year that I'm not convinced that I enjoy, which is the 10 fingers. It's a like epic jungle because on one side it says it was indeterminate, on another side it said it was semi-determinate, and I set it up for a style of indeterminate tomatoes. So it's like everything's falling, like the foliage is sickly, so that's like an ugly thing going on. Peppers is definitely not going to be a good year for me. I transplanted them, and then I had like Lynn a cold snap come in and my tunnel was open, so they're about 2-3 weeks behind from last year. The rest, I would say everything was like going okay. but I had to let go some of my crops, like my shelling peas and my peas, because there's so much I can do in just like in a period of time during the day. So
Yeah.
now I have to hope that I have enough time to sow some sweet peas, like a snap peas for the fall. Like I have to like take out all the peas, save the seeds that dried up on the vines, and then hope that I can transplant them. The rest, I would say what I'm struggling more with is weeds. My carrots had a lot of weeds, my onions had a lot of weeds.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of weeds going on in the garden.
For me, it's slugs. Slugs are all over the place.
Oh no. I hate slugs. Try beer. Try a beer trap.
Yeah, I've been told that. I want to try it, but
You don't want to
beer.
waste the beer.
Yeah, I don't want to waste the beer. I've been mushroom. I went mushroom hunting today, and was the same. Slugs on every single mushroom we could find.
Well, mushroom is in an environment that slugs like enjoy,
Yeah.
love, thrive. So it's kind of normal. Yes, I feel you. I'm not. There's days I'm not even sure if it's summer or if it's fall or like we're being resetted to spring. I don't know. Like it's that's why I say it's like a weird summer. But I'm not complaining because it's raining almost every 10 days here. The
Okay.
previous years, I had to water like almost every 2 days. In my watering container last year, I ran out of water and I had water bans, not even allowed to use like a cup of water to water my garden. Like it was strictly prohibited. And if I got caught, it was $1,000 fine.
Oh,
But
that's crazy.
this year, we are not experimenting that. There was no drought, there was no water ban. I just had to respect the 3 nights a week, 3 hours I was allowed to uh, like water the garden. And I emptied once my water collecting system and now it's full. So this week, if it does not rain, I will be able to fully like water all my garden beds. And probably if it's going like it is now, in 10 days it's probably going to rain. So yes, the temperature is weird, but at least I don't have to spend many hours watering because it is time consuming. I don't have an automatic watering system, and I have 3,000 square feet about of gardening space to water. So that's big. That's a lot. And that's not for me. I spotted leaves on my zook plants this week. It's are you talking about like the powdery mildew? Slugs. So everyone is experimenting slugs.
Another trick I've learned for slugs, Danielle, is you can put boards next to your garden. If you have chickens, it's even better. You leave the boards there during the night. When you wake up the next morning, the slugs will go hide under the boards, and then you can just flip the boards and get your chicken to eat the slugs.
You mean like an old plank, a wood plank?
Yeah, just a little any kind of board because they're night creatures or whatever you want to call them. They go out at night mostly, and during the day they try to hide from the sun, so they'll go under
And you're
whatever.
creating a moist area for them to actually leach on.
Yeah, and then you just flip it, and the chickens will go and eat it.
So you're transforming a problem into eggs.
Yep.
That's a nice thing to know. I don't experiment that much slugs. They're only in my cabbages.
Okay.
And like if I can categorize my cabbage year, if I can I'm gonna, let's just say I give it like between 0 and 10. I think I'm gonna give it like a -5. It was horrible. Like,
Give it a 1.
okay, I'll be nice, I'll give myself a 1 because I was able to start from seeds instead of buying plants, uh because of like warm cold cabbages hate that. So some
Yeah.
of them went to seed, some of them did nothing. My broccoli, I did not even get one broccoli and I had 25 plants.
Wow.
I had 40 plants of cauliflower and I harvested 21. But I don't beat myself too much up because I was able to grow them from seeds. So I figure out how to grow them from seeds. Now I need to adapt my
Just to
growing
improve. Yeah.
so that next year I can have 40 heads of cauliflower. Well, that's the plan at least. We had hot by Newfoundland standards and very little rain. I've been running the sprinklers most days.
Lucky you.
Oh, she does not have chickens. Well, you can just like step on them. Like put the board and then like have your
Yeah.
kids step on them.
Or the birds, even the birds. If you have birds around,
Well, obviously she has a garden, so there are birds. If you have sunflowers, you're gonna have birds.
yeah, the birds will eat them as well.
What else? What else do I have going on? My potatoes, I started harvesting my potatoes because I had some plants like die. I find it weird. Maybe someone here can explain. I had 3 rows of potatoes right next to each other. They are fingerlings, and as per the instructions, I can plant them 10 inches apart instead of 12 inches apart, like the Yukon Golds and the bigger potatoes. And I had one variety, so one row died. In the 2 other rows that's right next to them didn't. And it's 2 different, I think it's 1 or 2 different varieties of fingerling. They are in the same environment. I hilled them when I transplanted them. And then when I can't remember how high of growth, I hilled them a second time. And only 1 row died. It wilted, dried up, and just died.
Drainage, maybe. Maybe that road drains better or not as
Well,
good.
it's a hill. So
Yeah.
it's a hill that's 30 inches wide, 32 inches wide by 15 feet. So it's one garden bed that has 3 rows.
Yeah, but there could be like rocks underneath, or like deep down that holds the water more or less, or it could
Up
be anything
10
really.
inches of difference.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm thinking it's the variety. Maybe it's an early
maybe,
variety. It could be that.
maybe.
That's one of the thing I thought because I read that there's some early varieties, mid-season and late season. I also this year found out that there's determinate and indeterminate potatoes. I did not know that.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like scream like Lyndon. I had 10 pounds of potatoes and go like, ah, and they exactly look what they're supposed to. So they could be drainage or the variety that I have chosen. It's a new one for me.
Okay.
Just harvested my garlic. They seem to like the rabbit poop since I never had. Really? Did you sprinkle in the fall the rabbit poop or in the spring since it's cold manure? Because if that's the case, I'm going to collect all my rabbit poop and I'm going to throw it over the garlic patch when I transplant it. That would be fun. My cloves, did you grow garlic this year?
Nope.
No?
I never did.
Okay.
I'm gonna try eventually. Just a matter of finding a place to put it. I'm not ready for that yet.
You normally you plant it where you planted squash.
I planted squash everywhere. all around my garden.
Okay.
I did a trick that Welderstedt told me. Put the squash plants around the garden, and the
Mm-hmm.
big leaves will stop the weeds from growing and taking over your garden. Well, that's the idea, but it didn't work. Didn't work for me.
You probably will have to put carton under the leaves.
Yeah.
Like, planting them like around the garden and like maybe like save your boxes and put it under the leaves. Therefore, you're going to have a bit less weeds.
Yeah.
But like weeds love compost.
They love everything for some reason.
Yeah, they love everything. So how would you describe your season? Are you happy? Are you like, or you're like, eh? How do you
I'm
feel about?
look. It's weird. I'm looking at my numbers. Garden wise, I'm not really happy with the results yet because usually by this time of year, I'm done with my beans and I've harvested a couple of cucumbers. No cucumbers yet. I just started harvesting beans like last couple of days. Um, I got squash. I'm happy with the squash, but I did plant a lot of squash. So, garden wise, I didn't get radishes. My lettuce isn't doing so well, but I did get a lot of strawberries and I did get a lot of tomatoes. So, like some are better, some are worse.
Mm.
I was really hoping to have more in my freezer by now. But then again, I compensated with something else because I went fishing and caught more fish than I did last year, a lot more. And same for foraging. I foraged more than I did last year. So, I still
Yeah, but
get the same amount of food that I was hoping to get, but not at the same place.
well, the fish you had 100 pounds.
Yeah, that helps. Last
That helps
year
a
I
lot.
had like a couple of small trouts. That's it.
I know with the fluctuation of temperatures, I had a lot of things I went to seed like really, really fast. My bok choy went to seed fast. My radishes, same thing. Um, what else went to seed? All my lettuce that I transplanted like really, really, really early. I had a lot of lettuce, ate a lot of lettuce, and then when it went like this, they all bolted. Um, so I'm finding that cold hardy crop, I think I'm gonna do like what I did this year. I'm gonna push my limits and I'm gonna put row covers on top of them, like during the night, like or no, I didn't use row covers this year. I used pots that I had.
Yep.
So as soon as the sun went down, like around 5 6 p.m., I would go put pots on top of them, and then the next morning, as soon as it reached, I think it was 10 degrees Celsius in the tunnel, I would like remove the tops of my pots, and I was able to harvest lettuce. I think it was 3 weeks earlier than normal.
Okay.
Same
Cool.
thing with my radishes because they were in my tunnel. I was able to have radishes earlier, turnips earlier than usual. I did not have slugs, did not have like pests. My leaves were almost intact. You know when you have those little black beetles, they love those types of leaves. I almost had no pests. As soon as the temperatures reached like ridiculous heights, then the pests started to happen in the tunnel. So
Okay.
I know that it's time consuming to go every night and like put like pots because I don't have that much row covers, or
Mhm.
invest in like one or two row covers and like extend my
Your
crop
season.
like in the spring, and I'm going to do the same in the fall. I'm going to be planting beets soon, and I'm late. I think I'm almost a month late. So that means I'm going to have to use row covers to make sure that I have my like big beets that I want, lettuce and radishes and stuff like that. Yes, Danielle, everyone loves compost. So Marilyn says, I clean the hutch in the winter and put the bucket full of snow where the garlic were, so it would be spring, suppose. Okay. I think tomatoes should have less compost. They grow. True. If you have too much compost, too much nitrogen, they're going to invest too much in the foliage instead of the fruit. So they grow heads and leaves, but not much tomatoes. I have some in the poor soil that produce a lot right now. Hmm.
Interesting.
Well, every single plant, this is something I want to invest this year. I want to find a book that has all the garden produce that I have that tells me the requirements, the minimum requirements of each. Like I know peppers and tomato love rabbit manure because there's phosphorus in it and there's a bit of nitrogen. So I try to save my rabbit manure for peppers and tomato beds. Chicken manure, when I empty out my, when you do like the deep cleaning before winter,
Hmm.
where I'm going to put my cauliflower usually, I empty out the coop there, and I can't remember. There's like two or three other beds that like for my next year's garden I put the chicken manure because it's higher in nitrogen. And like I try to organize a thing, and then I buy compost that I have no idea the composition, and I just put it everywhere, not knowing if it's going to be more beneficial for either or um, plants that I have. So I'm looking for a book that will tell me like enrich in phosphorus for better harvest, enrich with bone meal for blah blah, like detail. But it's I can't find something that's detailed for a simple gardener like I am. There are
You
some
should,
books, but they're for farmers and agriculture farms.
we should ask my gardener to do one. He would have all the answers.
Yes, and it would definitely sell out like in 5 minutes probably.
Yeah, let's send him
Because
an email.
yeah, I could because like the information is out there for sure, but
Hmm.
like I would have to investigate on each groups and kind of come up with my
Results.
own
Yeah. Oh.
results. But it won't be like based on like tried and true things. It won't be based on someone's experiment. It's going to be based off of my research, so it's still going to be like trial and error.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't want like to mess up my garden with trial and error because like I want food. I don't want foliage unless it's like salads and greens and
Yeah.
cabbage, because cabbage loves nitrogen because it's like mainly leaves. Does anyone want to share how their gardening season is going for them? The good, the bad, the ugly, the struggles. Did you experience pests in your garden
Slugs
other than
and
slugs?
cucumber beetles. Cucumber beetles are all over my squash. Well, they were at the community garden, not here. Home, I'm fine. But at the community garden, it's been going crazy. I had to spray some stuff on them. It was either that or I was going to lose everything. But I used Safer's 3-in-1. It's supposed to be organic.
And it's for beetles, cucumber beetles? I thought it was
It helps for
for.
beetles, it helps for aphids, and it helps for something else. I don't remember what it was.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it's 3-in-1. There's like three, four different things that it can help with.
I
And the
didn't.
thing about go ahead.
I did not spray the. No, I sprayed my garlic because they were attacked by my onion family and garlic, like the whole onion family. So garlic, leeks, and onions were attacked by, I can't remember the name in English, but it's like this little worm that bores inside your garlic and your onion bulbs. And I'm gonna have to either spray organic, it's called Bitika, BTK,
Okay, yeah,
or have this humongous row cover thing going on and never expose my onions to like 100% of the sun. It would be like covered, because those little buggers are like, instead of your onion bulbs being huge like they're supposed to be, they're stressed, so they're smaller. So either it's Bitika next year for me or row covers
yeah.
for
I
the beetles.
use Safer's 3-in-1. The thing is, like I read on it, and a lot of people were saying they were losing their plants. Like they would spray their plants and let it be.
Hmm.
Then arrive a few hours or a few days later, and the plants will be dead. But then I started reading a little bit more on it, and it says that you should spray, and an hour later, water the garden so that it would remove all the excess of that product because it can kill the plant. So
uh,
I did that.
Usually it
Water.
makes sense, it makes sense. Bitika, you don't have to water after. But I did read on sprays, like you're not supposed to. Well, it's suggested not to spray during the day
Yeah,
because the sun with the product that you're putting on your plant, you can burn your plant. Like
yeah.
neem oil, if you spread it during the day, you're gonna burn your plant.
Same for water. You shouldn't water during the day.
No, because it's gonna evaporate even more. So let's just say you put like 1 liter of water during the day, you're not gonna get 1 liter of water in your soil. You're maybe gonna get like 2/3 of that. So when I spray, I always try to spray after the sun goes down to make sure that all the pollinators are gone and that the plant has all night to like recuperate from all the stress and the product that I had added to the plant. And like you really need to read the labels on the back of what you're using. Like you need to be, if you don't want, like you want to save your plant, but you don't want to kill your plant.
Yeah, exactly. And like Serge was saying, he's got a bunch of weeds growing in the garden and a bunch of different bugs. And what his way of thinking is, if I don't grow any stuff, I'm gonna have to go to the store, buy some stuff there that was grown with chemicals anyway. So might as well take whatever I need to do, clean everything that needs to be cleaned, and then starting next year, I'll add some more compost and try to go a little bit more and more organic every year.
Yeah, well,
Kind of get
I do the same. If I'm about to lose everything, I'm gonna try something before I lose it all.
yeah.
Like, yes, I want to grow as organic as possible, but like, I don't
You,
want to lose
yeah,
everything. So
you need
obviously,
your carrot, so it's better to have it
yeah.
non-organic than
But there's also another way that I go with this thing. So when I sow seeds for myself. I sow seeds for pests. I sow seeds for trial and error and all like whatever can happen. Like during the season, a kid passes next to a plant, head like cuts the head off, or by accident something happens. So if you evaluate that you need, I don't know, 20 cabbage, well, I'm going to transplant at least 25 or at least 30. So like to give me like a grace to learn. And if ever I don't have time to address all the pest pressure, well, at least I'm going to have 20 cabbages. Obviously, that's not what happened with this year, but like at least I have like this
yeah.
grace and I allow myself to like at least like enjoy the gardening instead of like always, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything. But if like I'm seeing like 30 plants are like eaten alive and I'm not going to get anything because of slugs or because of like whatever's in the garden, I will obviously spray.
Mhm.
So are you telling me that I should empty my chicken coop where I'm going to transplant my onions? Because that's the case. That's what I'll be doing. Because I I don't think I mentioned it. Usually I used to buy bulbs of onions and like plant my onions and get like these golf ball size of onions. And I would sow seeds and hope for the best. And I would get like a little bit, yeah, golf balls, probably what I got. But this year, my biggest onion is about this big.
Nice.
So I figured out how to grow onions from seeds. I know what I've done wrong because the ones that are small is pest pressure, and I'm understanding that onions does not enjoy weeds at all. They do
Yeah.
not like to share the nutrients in the soil. So I either have to invest in tools to weed around the onions or have like this woven ground cover and like put those holes. Um, can't remember who uses them, but I know Living Traditions Homestead uses them, and they like punch holes through the woven ground cover, and there's almost no weeding to be done. So I'm either gonna go in one of those directions to have like those humongous big onions and like braid my onions. Like that's like my goal. 2023 goals is have like that braid of onion in my kitchen, in my pantry, so that I no longer have to buy any onions at the store. My big onions were in poop. It's funny when you say that. They don't like to be covered. They want their shoulders in the sun.
Yeah, true.
The only thing like when they are really really small, most of the onion is covered. And then with all the water that falls around them, I practically have like only the bottom part Only the bottom part. So let's just say like this is the onion. I only have like this part that has the soil, and like most of the onion is hello. It's Maeli, right?
Yeah,
Hello, Maeli.
Chloe's getting ready because fireworks tonight, and since she's the queen from the last pageant, she has to go and dress and wear all her like the crown and all her
The
banners.
banners, the banners. Ooh, is that why you have to where you have to be at 9 o'clock tonight?
Yeah, fireworks.
Fireworks. Well, it's a nice way to end the evening. Oh.
Yep. I love it.
And you talked about it a little bit. How is Shed Wars going for you? Do you want to share your numbers?
So far, okay, let me just check here. I am at 550 pounds right now,
That
and like I
is
said,
from your garden.
garden, fishing, farming, which is my eggs and my meat chickens, gardening, hunting. I didn't go hunting yet,
Okay.
so that's 550 pounds. I have everything divided. I have about 270 pounds with the farming aspect, which is the meat chickens, the eggs. I didn't have any pigs. I didn't butcher my turkeys yet. I
Did you say
didn't.
that your 550 includes your
It
chicken?
includes everything. Yeah.
Okay.
I have about 120 pounds of fish total. I have about 91 pounds of foraging, which includes like mushrooms, blueberries, dandelions, fiddleheads, and gardening. I am currently at 64 pounds, and it's just started. So I had an objective of doing at least 1,000 pounds this year.
Okay, so
And
you hit the 50% mark.
yeah, I'm at a tiny bit over, around 55% actually.
Okay.
And I calculated to get the 1,000, I would need to have an average of almost 7 pounds per day, because there's only like 66 days or something like that
Yeah.
left for the end.
Okay.
But I'm
And
still going moose hunting. Like, I mean, the success rate is insanely high. So we know we're going to get a moose. Hopefully, well, we should get a moose. I still got my potatoes. I still got my onions. I still got my squash, my sweet potatoes, my tomatoes. I didn't do my turkeys yet. I got 8 turkeys. The smallest one is over 10 pounds. So I should get around 100 pounds right there. I still want to go blueberry picking for a second time. There's so many things going on that I know I'm going to get 1,000 pounds. So the more I can get, the better. But I wouldn't be happy with myself if I didn't reach 1,000 pounds.
you wouldn't be happy?
No,
You're a bit hard on yourself.
if I reach 990, I won't be happy.
I'll
Well,
send you forage more apples.
yeah, well, I will go forage apples as well because there's a lot of wild apples around, and I did a little bit over 100 pounds of apples last year, so I know I can do it again. And I've seen a lot of apples this year. Plus, knowing what we know now, there's a few apple trees that we know we have to go a little bit early. So I'm gonna go during the bear hunting season, uh, maybe middle of September, and I'll be able to bring my rifle in case something happens with a bear, and I'll be able to hunt the bear as well, and we'll go and forage some apples.
So this year, what license do you have?
I have, I'm gonna have a moose tag. I have my deer hunting license, and if I'm not mistaken, we should know soon, like in 2 weeks, if we can hunt for doe or not. I can hunt grouse. I can hunt wild rabbits, bears, black bears. I think that's it for hunting.
Well, just a moose. If you would just harvest nothing else, just a moose, you would get 300 pounds.
Well, we're three, so it's only my share that counts towards shed wars.
Okay.
So I'm guessing, like, if we got the smallest moose, like just a little baby moose, we would get at least 300 pounds of meat
Total.
total. So that would give me 100 pounds.
Okay. Well,
And
it's 100 pounds.
yeah, so I should get more than that. Like I'm guessing usually the average we get is about 400 pounds. Like if we get a small bull or like a cow, decent cow, we get about 400 pound worth of meat. So that would give me like 135, 140, somewhere around that.
Okay.
There's always like depending, I don't know, like Selge has the license. So I don't know if he keeps the heart. I don't know if he keeps the liver. I don't know if he keeps any of that stuff. If he does, I'm not going to count it, and if he doesn't, I'm going to keep it, and it's going to count for even more. Um, the success rate for moose hunting is about 85% in the province, but I always say that it's more than that because there's always those people that get like
Your
five
third
licenses,
license,
there's
and they
seven of
don't
them.
go.
They'll go get 2, 3 moose, and they'll let go of the 2 other tags. There's always the people that apply and end up not being able to go, and there's always those that don't want to go. They're trying to save a moose by applying and taking a license away from a hunter. And then there's always those guys that go hunting, but they end up being in a trailer the whole week drinking beer and playing cards with their friends. So there's just a week away from their wives, I guess. I've heard stories about that, but I
I'm not gonna comment on that.
I don't do that, but it happens. So the 85% happens to be even higher. Like there's always the odd one, the odd chance that we won't get any, but there's so many moose around here. Like I can't see it happening.
I did get good news last night. In my village, we will officially have a butcher
Nice,
that will take in hunting meat.
cool.
So I was like, nice, because this year, we like every year the guy that raises our pork keeps telling me it's the last year. And we have to drive an hour and a half to go meet him halfway to pick up our pork. I don't
Right.
mind it because, we chit chat. He's a farmer. I'm a gardener. I'm a homesteader. He's like, so we chit chat like for about an hour. And then, it's like an outing for the kids. And like
Yeah.
during the year, he asks me a question about gardening. I ask him a question about something else. So like we build this
Relationship.
farming, homesteading relationship. So it's fun. But let's just say that it is going to be the last year because he keeps telling me every single year it's the last year. So at one point, it will be the
Will
last
be the
year.
last year for real.
So let's just say that locally, someone could raise, or I could just buy a ready to be harvested pork. And all I have to do is go pick it up and bring it to him. Or arrange a pickup and bring. I'm not exactly sure how it has to be done in Quebec, but we have one in our village soon by the end of the year. So that was pretty exciting to know.
There's like 4 of them here around here.
We don't. Our closest butcher is like butcher. I don't even know if he takes like hunting meat. Is like 45 minutes away.
Whoa.
So there's no butchers here. People prefer buying meat at the grocery store here
Yeah.
because butcher meat is like people that prefers high quality meat and has the budget to pay
Yeah.
for higher quality meat. And usually butcher don't sell bulk here. I've never seen a butcher sell bulk meat like a quarter of a pork or a quarter of a beef or something. I've never seen that, but someone that has the ability to just buy ready to be harvested meat and just bring it to a local butcher, and I have like 5 minute drive to go pick up my things.
It'd be
That would
great.
be they would be great. So if I can find someone that wants to share a cow with us, like 2, 3 families, and all we have to do is find a transport like from the farm to there, that would make me like really really happy.
We have that here. The butcher is about 2 minutes away from my place. And a couple of years back, we did that. We purchased half a pig between my mom and I. It was $100 each, and we ended up with about 50 pounds of meat each. It was $2 a pound. It's way more than that now, but it was
uh
worth it. It was a nice box.
I had last year, the first year I bought a full pig, it came out. I had bacon, I had hams, I had like ribs. Um, I had like all the cuts, like all the expensive cuts,
Hmm.
and a little bit of hamburger meat. It came to $4.99 a pound, but it's a pasture raised pig.
Yeah, it's worth more for sure.
Yeah. So it's pasture and almost organic. His feed is not organic. So organic at the time was twice the price. And last year, I think it was close to between the same numbers. It was between $3 and $5 a pound for pasture raised meat. Yes, I can get for $2.99 a pound hamburger meat, pork meat at Super C or Walmart or Costco,
It's
but
not
it's
quality.
not pasture raised meat. It's not the same thing.
That's the thing I like about hunting. You get the meat. You know it is organic. It's growing in the wild.
Melissa, it's Melissa, right?
Yeah.
Little home. Okay. In grocery stores here in Quebec, they offer family packs, which is 2.1 kilos, and those are usually it's those are for hamburger style meat, and they have like those bundles of family packs for hamburger meat, steaks, tenderloins, and stuff like that. They do not have a quarter of a pork bundle. If I want that, um I have to find like a local farmer or someone that sells direct. If I want like a quarter of an animal or half of an animal, grocery store here is specialty cuts, but in like bigger quantities. They call it family packs. The other way that I can get meat, pasture raised organic meat, is with Butcher's Box. And there's a lot of subscriptions like that available for us in Canada. Not all of them delivers to my location, but Butcher's Box does deliver to my house.
They don't deliver in New Brunswick. I keep checking every few months. They don't.
Well, it's new that they deliver in Canada because they used to be based in the United
States.
States. And when I ordered my first box, I had to call because on their website, no, I sent a message, sorry. I sent a message and they told me that my postal code, there was an error with it. And when I chatted with the person, he says, your area has just opened for us. And every month I was receiving emails, more cuts were available to us, and they are encouraging and negotiating to get like instead of just mince like hamburger meat, they were getting tenderloins, breast, turkey, like they were adding more and more. Now we have like it's been I think 2 years since I've done Butcher's Box, and I've checked out their site and they have a lot of stuff that they did not have 2 years ago. And there's
Nice.
another thing that I enjoy. They have fish, shrimp, shrimp, des palourdes, clams.
Okay.
They have like good quality fish and good quality like shells that you can't find in the grocery store unless you buy them frozen.
Hmm.
So there are some options, but it's either you have to buy in bigger quantity and with like a subscription box, or you check out for deals and family packs at the grocery store. For my part, I don't know for you if you have the same thing.
Well, you could always get your husband to start hunting. That would
Oh,
be
well,
another.
yeah. Well, the person I was with yesterday, her husband kept telling me, "Tell your husband to come hunting with me. Like I have all the equipment with my friends. All he has to do is pass his. I have no idea how to say this in English.
Hunting
Arbalete?
cord.
No, arbalete
Oh,
course.
okay. It's
Crossbow.
yeah,
He has to pass his crossbow um,
cool.
license, which
Yeah.
is $55, 8 hours of work. So he kept telling me yesterday, tell your husband, tell your husband, tell your. So I'm trying to like convince him to join a hunting party so that he can bring back a moose, because now I convince him that moose tastes good. So now he believes me.
If you cook it right, no matter what, if you have meat, you cook it properly. You can put more spice. You can put like you can cook it differently. It's gonna be good. Like you cook it the way you like it.
Well, he told me that moose is almost comparable to 100% pasture meat beef.
Okay,
So if you enjoy the 100% pasture, not the ones that are ended with grain, like 100% pasture, it's a very, very lean meat and they taste really good. And I tasted moose from Annie. She sent me some moose,
oh nice.
and we're actually exchanging moose at the end of the season in October, because I'm bringing her ducks that are on the, now they're ducklings, but by the time I bring it to her house, they're going to be almost 3 months old, which is at that point a duck. And we're exchanging beef and moose for the ducks, so I
Nice.
will have more.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, no, I do not hunt. I did go hunting many, many years ago. I think I was like 15, 16 years ago. I was the bait. I had like the smell, they uh you spray something on yourself. I can't remember what we went hunting for, but me and my sister's boyfriend's son, we were sprayed, and we would walk around like in circles, and they, as soon as they told us to clear out, we would clear out. We would have a whistle, and as soon as they hear the whistles, we would raise in the trees and they would go hunt. And sadly, we did not bring anything home.
It happens.
But I can't remember what we went hunting for. I think it was more for the hunting experiment, to like the testosterone and the guns and the blah blah blah. So it was like the my sister's boy, like she was just started seeing that guy, and like he wanted to
She was trying
impress
him.
her, and testosterone and all that. So she taggled me along, and his son taggled along, and it was fun, but we did not bring anything. And I was not brought up hunting. I was not brought out brought to fish for food. I was fishing for like fish on and then cast bass in the
That's
water,
right.
like in the water. I don't know if I would be able to hunt.
Oh
Not
yeah.
because of the kill, but because of the stillness, like not moving and
Well,
wait.
it depends
And
what you hunt. Standing still is only good for bear and deer.
okay.
If you go grouse hunting, it's basically just a walk in the woods or a drive with your car or with an ATV or the birds are everywhere. You go, you drive, you
Yeah, but
walk.
they're so small. I probably would miss them. J'ai pas de bisous. I don't have no aim. I don't.
Can't aim. Well,
I can't aim because like I never practice aiming, and I always wanted to learn how to use the bow, like not a crossbow, a bow,
regular. Oh,
a regular bow with the pulley and
okay.
all of that. But my mom always told me that it was not for ladies.
Oh
So
no,
I
she
did
didn't
not.
say that.
Yeah, she says bow. The sports of bow. I don't know how I said that in English. Is not made for ladies. But I was a full hardcore tomboy when I was young, so I did not understand. But I guess if my husband goes with for his crossbow, I'm not sure if the license for hunting with a bow is the same thing as a crossbow.
I think it is in New Brunswick. I don't know what it is in Quebec. You guys have different rules for everything, so I wouldn't know.
We
But
like to be we like to be complicated.
yeah, I think it's the same, but I can't be 100% sure.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, because if he goes, I have to stay with the kids. If
Yeah,
I go, he has to stay with the kids. So if ever I go for a hunting license, my kids have to be old enough to actually have someone here take care of the kids. And you know my situation. I don't have many
Yeah,
offers for babysitters to take care of my three little monsters.
it will happen.
If they're old enough, like Emilia's gonna be 10 this year, so if in 2-3 years she's gonna be 13, old enough to take care of herself, and my son Philip is
More
gonna
mature.
be if she's 13, 11, so he's gonna be more mature. It's my little rascal Cedric that I'm always worried.
Yeah, they'll get
God,
better. Get better.
he's Dennis the Menace reincarnated. Seriously. Like, we tell him, don't touch that. And he looks at us. And as soon as we look away, he's like, he wants to touch it. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should do like,
Reverse psychology.
yeah, please touch it. Should try that. But I might get kind of slapped in the face with my own psychology.
Yeah, it could happen.
It could happen, and then I'll be screwed. So I still, with my son Philip, sometimes I do reverse psychology, and it does work. But I'm scared to try it with Cedric. I'm a little bit scared. We can only one moose in a lifetime, so that means you can only hunt one moose
For your
in
whole life,
your whole life.
I would move away. I wouldn't want to be there.
My husband and I don't hunt together either. No scissors here either. Okay, so you feel my pain.
Yeah. My girlfriend doesn't hunt, so it's all free for me. Woohoo.
Yeah, but I think with everything going on, not the pressure I'm talking about, but more and more families are realizing that homegrown food
It's
tastes
better.
totally different than store bought.
Yep. Totally agree.
But like during the colder months, whatever you're eating is not like 100% fresh. It's like probably travel thousands of miles. During the summer, if you buy like locally grown cauliflower, it's maybe 3-5 days old, maybe. So like you don't get like exactly what's in the garden, but you're like close enough, like you can
Yeah.
almost pass it as it's your own cauliflower. So if you only want to buy locally grown in season fruits and vegetables, it would work. But like, what would you eat during the colder months? Potatoes, apples,
Yeah.
carrots, beets, turnips. It kind of gets old fast.
Well, as long as you can preserve a lot of stuff.
No, well, you would have to buy in bulk during during the season.
Yeah, that too. Yes.
Not everyone has access to the funds, to the farms or the market gardens or the kiosks that has
That's the thing.
bulk items.
We keep saying you gotta be rich to make money. It's the same thing. If you get more money, you can go and buy bulks. You'll have it cheaper. It'll last longer. You'll
Mm-hmm.
have more money in your pocket because you had more money in the first place to buy it in a bigger bulk. You'll
Yeah.
have more money in your pocket in the end.
During the colder months, I have $20 to $25 in my budget that goes for in special items. So let's just say cereals. Obviously, I have kids,
There's a
so
nice
I buy the multigrain Cheerios, and there's another brand that I buy for the kids. When I see them on special, I don't buy one box. I buy 5 boxes. So I have some in the pantry. In the summer, I rarely do that because like my extra budget goes for locally grown produce so that I can preserve it or freeze it, can it, whatever. But as soon as like the canning season is like mostly done and some of the stuff's are on special, I buy flour, I buy sugar, I replenish every good that I used for baking, cooking, salt, pepper, spices, cereals, obviously bread. I can't bulk buy bread because I would need like a stand-up freezer just for bread.
Yeah. I hear you there. We
Because
go through bread per day easily.
3/4 of a loaf of bread on the weekend. My husband can eat 4 slices of bread for breakfast.
Yeah, I eat that pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So,
cheap. It's still somewhat cheap.
well, I find it expensive now. The last time I went to the store, it was $7 for 2 loaves of bread.
Yeah, but when
At
you put it this way,
usually at Walmart, it was 2 loaves of breads for $5, and then they went up to 5.50.
well,
So
if you compare it to cereals or something like that, you can eat toast at night before you like snack. $7, it will last you 2 days.
uh,
If I buy cereals, one
a
box of
box
cereals,
is 3 days
five
here, three,
five
four
dollars
days. Yeah.
doesn't last a day here.
Well, you have more kids, but us, it's
Yeah, but
like 3, 4 days max. And if Fred enjoys those cereals that I buy, 2 days. Because,
yeah,
like, when the expression like a bowl, the size of a bowl, or a glass of wine depends of the person that's either eating or drinking. So the size of the bowl of my kids is about this big, like 2, 3 cups. I mean, no, a cup and a half. My husband, his bowl of cereals is 3 cups. So, and then he puts like a ton of milk and he eats it all. And then it's like a soup bowl and he drinks all, all the milk. And I look at him and I'm like, and then he puts 2 toasts in the toaster. I'm like, you ate 3 cups of cereals and you're putting 2 toasts. I'm like, where in the hell do you put all of that?
I
I
try
can,
to slow down because of this, but I used to do that too.
well, 2 slices of bread. He puts a homemade jam that I do. Okay, it's less sugar, so it's okay. It's semi good. But then he puts jam, peanut butter, and then 3 cups of cereal. That's a lot of carbs.
Yep.
It's a lot of carbs. So like he maintains that light, that little belly. I'm getting off topic. Um,
You think?
what did you learn this year? What did you learn the most? Like either learning that it got you irritated or just learn in general?
Well, I think because of you, I kind of learned to let go.
Yeah,
I
that was a big one this year.
Yeah, maybe not to the same point as you because I still go out in the garden. I still weed every time I go out. I still spend like 30 minutes a day in there trying to remove all the weeds I can. But there's some part of my garden that didn't grow except for weeds. And instead of trying to remove everything and go and sow something else, I just decided to let it go. The weeds want to grow, let them be. I'll plant somewhere else. In the fall, I'll just remove everything I can, till the garden again, or just remove the weeds however I can, and start fresh next year. That's all I can do, really. I mean, there's only so much time in the day.
Yeah.
If I have to go to work full time, I wake up in the morning. By the time I go to work, like I don't have time to do anything. I get back home. It's 4 p.m. by the time I leave. 4:30 before I get home. It's supper time. I gotta go feed the animals in my new spot. I gotta feed the animals here, and then I gotta go and weed the garden. By the time I'm done, if I have anything to preserve at all, it's 1 a.m. Then 6 a.m. is coming soon, and I have to start over again. So there's only so much hours in a day,
Yeah.
and there's only so much you can do. So you have to let go of some stuff.
It's this year, that's why I say it was a big one for me. I used to work 7 days a week. I was in my garden every single day inspecting every single plant or almost every single plant. I would remove squash bug eggs, vine borer eggs. I would inspect every single leaves of my squash to make sure there was no eggs. I would spray with soap, black soap for aphids, neem oil, and like I was like I kind of lost myself in the process of the garden. Like I was with that. There's 2 videos I made this year. The Instagram perfect garden does not exist unless you lose your mind.
Yeah.
And like at one point, you need to let go of some stuff. Like you need to prioritize what's more important to you, And then the rest, either you invest a little bit of time and you let it go, or you completely let it go. And next year, you learn from that aspect that you had to let go. And this in like in the colder months, I have to ask myself, do I want to grow celery next year, or I want to invest that 15-foot row to something else, because I like it was an epic failure with my celery. Do I want to grow 3 rows of potatoes and only get 100 pounds of potatoes and spend more money with the seed potatoes
Then on
than
the actual potatoes.
than just go to the store and buy a 10-pound bag of Yukon Gold potatoes? Yes, I will not have the fingerlings. I enjoy the fingerlings. I did not see them in big bags here. It's usually at the market garden, and like I don't have that here. So like those are all questions I have to ask myself at the end of the season. Is it worth my time, my effort, and all the struggles? If the answer is no, 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 well then I need to tweak it, change it, make it work. Because like
Exactly.
I need to invest my time better. Do I
Yeah.
need to save up money to invest for tools? Like I have 2 tools in mind for next year, plus the woven ground cover and an automatic waterer system, at least in my tunnel. Can I invest? What needs to be sacrificed? What project can be put back on the back burner so that I can have water in my tunnel? So all those questions have come after I let it go. If
Yeah.
I did not let it go, I probably would already be on the ground and like ready to give up. And tomato season is about to happen.
Yeah. And that's one thing I like about Shed Wars is at the end of the season, I'm going to be able to sit there and see everything I was able to grow. And I mean, of course, lettuce doesn't weigh that much, but they don't take space. You can plant 3, 4 plants of lettuce. They don't take any space at all. You can plant them in containers. But beside that, I'll be able to check and see, okay, well, my peppers did good this year because I did that. My tomatoes did good because I did this. My carrots did pretty well because I did them this way. What do I need to change? Am I, like you said, am I going to plant celeries next year? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? If I look at my numbers and they don't make sense, I won't do them again. If I take 15 minutes per day for a part of the garden and nothing there grows, I will not plant anything there again. You know what I mean? Like I'll have the numbers in my face. I'll have the actual numbers right there.
Yeah, well, you're gonna be able to do a retrospective of your garden, a very specific one,
Yeah.
because of all the stats you have added up. Me, I am happy and a little bit disappointed in myself because I said I was gonna journal my garden, and now everything's here. I'm doing exactly the same thing I said I was not gonna do last year. But since I'm kind of journaling it in my YouTube videos, I kind of have some information.
Yeah, you could go back and
Yeah, I could always go back and just like rewatch some of my videos. But definitely, I am starting to understand more and more why like people have market style garden like with 1 or 2 varieties of tomatoes and like one variety of cauliflower, because like they all come out at the same time instead
it's
of like all over the place.
yeah,
So I did learn that. I did do different this year. Like I had one garden bed with 24 Amish paste. I have one garden bed with 20 Ropreco paste tomato. I have another one that has 24 or 22 10 fingers. So I know that I have the magic number 20 of each plant instead of having 6 here or 6 there. And then I would go in the garden. I would have to wait 5 days, freeze some paste tomato, and at one point like thaw the tomatoes and then do a 20-pound batch of sauce.
yeah.
But I'm seeing now that I would have much more success if I had 2 varieties and like see if I prefer indeterminate for my paste tomato or determinate in like go down the road of what's like tried and true, not put myself all over the place, because when you're all over the place you can't control everything. Like, I don't want to be a control freak, but I do want to control the success at one point. By
Yeah, I was gonna
sorry,
say in the same line of thoughts, things that I'm not gonna do again next year, and I was talking about that to my known a couple of weeks ago. Is I will no longer buy apple trees, and I will no longer buy blueberry bushes because they grow in the wild here,
mm-hmm.
and I spend so much money and so much time trying to grow them, and I can't compete with the natural order of things. Like my apples right now, they're full of some sort of fungus. They are still edible. I'm not going to lose all my apples, but they don't look very good.
Oh no.
I
Well,
can go 5 minutes away from here and
and
harvest
yeah,
two,
that's
three of
another
them
thing.
apples.
Like I had that romantic idea that I needed 10 blueberry trees. I needed 40 raspberry plants. I needed that. I needed that. I needed that because I wanted to be self-sufficient. But I only have 15,000 square feet and
Yeah,
I have young kids. And by having all of that, this year I did not harvest raspberries. Like I had to let go of raspberries. Like my early season raspberries, my black raspberries, I harvested I think 90% of my bushes. But
nice.
my golden berries, the golden ones, raspberries, I did not harvest them. My purple one either. My red one, I barely harvested. And I have late season raspberries that are picking up soon, like September, October. I might be able to harvest them. So I told my husband, yes, I wanted all the fruits, but I can't freaking pick them because I don't have time to harvest it. So I wasted money on edibles
Yeah,
that well, I did not waste it because at one point I probably will
it
harvest
will
from
grow,
them.
and yeah,
And instead of like the animals, like the wild animals that I have, instead of like picking on my garden, they probably pick on the bushes. But still, like it's creating like frustration and aggravation and stress, and you're kind of like beating yourself up because you're not harvesting from your plants.
yeah,
Or flip side to that, I have 3-year-old blueberry plants that are supposed to be blooming right now and performing, like giving me fruits, and they're not. So I'm like, oh my God, I spent all that money, all that time, all that energy, all that water, and no blueberries when I could have. And I lost one, two, three, 5 plants at this point. It's like
they
I
need
like,
you need really really acidic soil. And I was reading on it, and it said that even if you put stuff in your soil to put it more acidic, it's only going to reach a certain acidic level. And unless you do like you put stuff in the ground like every month or so or something like that, you will never be able to maintain the right level of acidity that you need.
I don't have issues with acidity. I have cedar hedges right next to my house. Like I have 2 walls of cedar hedges.
Okay.
And where they are planted right now used to be a pool. So it's sand. My raspberries are like beautiful. They reached almost 7 feet tall this year, my raspberry plants,
Nice.
because they're in a loomy, acidic, sandy soil. But my blueberries, I don't know why. I don't know for what reason they do not want to grow. So I'm trying one last thing. Every single blueberry plant that will die, I'm converting them to hascaps because
Yeah.
they are more tolerant.
Thing.
They are more tolerant, and you can almost neglect them to a point of not even watering them, not even take caring them, and just like put some fertilizer in the fall and in the spring, maybe once during the summer, and they will produce. So I'm like literally abandoning blueberries. I'm going to keep the plants that are alive, obviously, but I've decided that I'm going to go blueberry picking. Like I'm going to invest my mental health and my money on an outing with my kids and my husband and just bring back blueberries. Same thing with apples. My
Are
apple
you
tree
going
of
to grow it?
my neighbor is dead, so I will no longer have apples unless I buy a second tree. Buying a tree would be $50 over, and I'm gonna have to wait 20, maybe 10 years before I can have like a good amount of apples,
It depends. You have one apple tree right now.
and it's almost dead.
Okay. Well, if the fact that it's almost dead, that's another issue. But if you still had one apple tree, if there's a neighbor or someone on your street or anywhere close by that has an apple tree, should be good enough to fertilize your apples.
I have a crab apple tree in my neighbor in front, so
Okay,
maybe 200-300 meters.
that's close enough.
There is no apples this year in my tree. Zero, nothing. Zap. So like, and like half of it is dried up, and the other half like looks eh.
Mm.
But at the bottom of the tree, there's babies. So we're thinking of topping it and letting like the babies like just do their thing, and instead of letting it grow like a normal tree, like keep it down, like no, like those apple trees that you go in orchards,
Yeah.
so that like you only need like a small ladder. Like we needed, I think it was like with my 6 feet ladder, I was not even reaching apples. I had to use like the 12 feet ladder of my husband to go get one apple. So I was like,
Hmm.
so I've stopped investing that amount of time in stuff that I can't control, or it's not even worth my time. So blueberry picking is official. We're actually going soon.
I have a pole for my apples.
I come on, I would need a 15 feet pole to
That's
grab like maybe
big
10
enough.
apples.
They're. I think they're actually like 6 feet long, and there's three of them. You put them together, and you like tie them together, and then you can go up in the trees. And there's a little like basket with kind of.
Yeah, I saw that one. Well, I think I either gonna find like I saw an apple tree that's growing on the main road here in my village. I don't know if I'm allowed to go and pick. It's like it's next to the river. It belongs to the city. So I'm not sure if
Not
I, but I think the apples are like mine. They're like there's little worms inside.
okay.
So I don't know. We'll see.
And for blueberries, do you go to a U pick farm or is it just wild blueberries?
I go to a local. It's an hour and 50 minutes away from my house, and their blueberries taste like divine every single year. And
Okay.
we just pick. I do not know if I have wild blueberries because I've never seen it.
Hmm.
Probably there is. Seriously, that's something I need to do. Next year, I have to find a local person that can bring me around in places.
To forage.
No, well, not to forage, to help me identify and then tell me, okay, in April, this is what you have. In May, this is what you have. In June, this is what you have. So I can like organize around my calendar, foraging around,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, 20 minutes to 45 minutes away from my house. You are lucky, Melissa. You weeded only once. I weed almost every day.
Yep.
And if there's rain, whatever I did
It's gone.
is gone. It's back up. It's like,
Yep.
it just, woo, I'm back again to piss you off. I have learned space. I planted don't get enough sun, and my plants didn't grow. Yes, space is important. I know that we want to cram everything and like that square feet gardening method, but if it's everything is too close, it's not gonna work. I was searching something for Annie, found it, but I'll send it to you in private. Still listening. Okay. I'm not sure what you are relating to, but sure. I'll read your message later on. Well, no, not worth it. Forget it. Okay. Can you believe I cannot grow raspberries? I don't understand. Seriously? Did you try to grow wild raspberries? Like go in the forest and find a wild. I have a wild one, my black one, and I think that one is rustic for any zones. And if I see you next year, I can bring you one. I can bring you one or two plants of my
It's
wild
gonna be
black.
crazy if we all go over to Darren's place or something like that. There's gonna be so much plants traded and given, and oof.
Come on. It's priceless. You can't put a price
I
tag on
know.
that. Like the lady that sold me the black raspberries, she sold me them, I think it was $2 a plant. And I can like multiply from one plant I went to 5, or from 2 plants I went to 5 within 1 year. And that's without any effort. If I did put in the effort, I could have quadrupled, like, or even 10 times like those 1 or 2 plants. What are you referring to, Melissa? How come? What is it to me or to Marilyn about the raspberry? They survive but not grow or die. I think I had 5 fruits on 50 plants this year. Oh, that's crazy. I tried the poop magic last week. I empty out all of my rabbit manure in the fall, and I add a load of rabbit manure on all my raspberry plants. And like I said, they're 7 feet tall this year, and they're beautiful.
Nice.
I didn't get any to plant this year. I was thinking of using as a border. The first reason why I grow raspberries is not for the fruit. The main reason is an intimacy fence, because I wanted something that was 5 feet tall over, because the people that walk around my house, they always have a tendency of like breaking their nets and looking in my backyard, and like we're outside having a drink or like doing a fire, and they always like look at us, and I don't like it. So the first reason why I wanted raspberry plants was for intimacy, and then obviously I got the fruits from them.
Awesome.
Apple trees, Melissa.
There's a spammer coming. Don't show the messages.
Mm?
I said there's a spammer coming. Lower in the comments. We deleted and blocked him, but
okay.
Just so you know.
But I'm afraid they wouldn't get out. Okay, so the silver blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a lot of wild red raspberries now. I can't wait to see what the raspberry plants are. Yes, I cannot wait for next year's when your raspberry plants come back, because like we just transplanted them this year. Oh, we have another one.
Yeah, blocked.
Okay, thanks. So you told me you had to leave at 7:30, right?
I'm still good to go for a few minutes.
Okay, so since we did say, we kind of, when we went off topic, it kind of directly goes to this question. Now more and more people are listening to us. They're daydreaming about homesteading. They're daydreaming about gardening. They're daydreaming of having a garden. What would you tell these people that are daydreaming and like they're in la la land right now, and they don't understand like the depthness of what needs to be done to be a homesteader or a gardener?
Well, I always start by telling those people that first, the food tastes better. So no matter what you do, you can go in your garden, have better food. It tastes better and it's better for your body. Second thing I do is tell them that it's a therapy. I mean, of course, if you go crazy like us, at some point it's not really a therapy, but even for us, going outside in the garden, weeding or harvesting is a therapy. And there's nothing better than going out and harvesting your own food. Growing your own food is so rewarding. Like someone that's working a full-time job, that has a lot of money, that goes to the grocery store and buys whatever he or she wants, I just simply try to tell them that grow anything. You have apple trees, you'll have fresh apples when the harvesting season comes. Plant some strawberries, you'll have strawberries in the spring or in the beginning of the summer. Like, there's so many things you can do that you don't need to spend time on. Start with those things. Then eventually those people will see that, for example, myself, if I bring stuff at work, squash, peas, carrots, anything fresh from the garden, I try to share it with the people. Look, I grew this from my garden, by hoping that not only they'll be happy that I'm sharing with them, but also that they'll see that it's true, it tastes good, and you're doing this while doing a full time job. So I can do it too, and hopefully they'll go and they'll do it.
Good advice. I like what Melissa says. I would say don't give up. Just try.
Hmm.
Um, I think I would say, and this is from experience, when I started, I had that dream of, Justin Rhodes, Jessica Sard from Roots and Refuge Farm, Whispering Willow Farm. They made it dreamy for me. It was a dream. I thought if I plant like 40 tomato plants, there would be no problem, and I had no issues, and like I would have like a humongous amount of tomatoes. I hit a brick wall at year one. Some people do not hit the brick wall right away. And I find that if you hit it from the start, it's actually a bonus than like going down the road and then like having all that success, and then one year you wake up and like you have a lot of failures and you don't understand why, because it's been working for you. So like Melissa says, don't give up. Unless, like I said today, you've tried it, you don't enjoy it, it's not worth your time, not worth your effort, too much pest pressure, too much stress, too much for your head, then I would say like try something else. But try not to give up the gardening idea in general. That would be that's I think that's what the I would that's what I would suggest. And don't wait. If you want to do it,
Yep, go ahead and do it.
don't wait. It's exactly like a tree. A, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. The next best time is today, right now. So if you have a packet of lettuce and that's the only thing you have space for, just do it and learn from it. And when you eat that salad, I'm sure you're going to be amazed how much that salad tastes great compares to the one that you buy at the store. Annie says, I would tell them start small. Yes, definitely don't start big. I started 30 by 30 garden. Holy cow. And start with one thing at a time or a couple of things at a time. Basically do what I say, not what I do. But if you can, do it. You can do it. Rambling with the brums.
Yeah, brooms.
Brooms.
Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
I try helping people giving starts to get them interested, but ones I know I gave plants to gave up.
Some gave up.
Well, there's always going to be the one that gives up. Not everyone's going to enjoy the hard work, because like you have the hard work and then you have the harvest. So the hard work leads to positive, but not everyone's going to enjoy the hard work, which is okay. Actually, when someone tells me they have a desire to grow food, they come at my house, they ask questions, I bring them plants, I bring them seeds, I bring them knowledge, I answer their questions. And if they give up, well, there's nothing more I can do. I gave information and maybe they'll try later on, maybe they won't, but it's okay because you shared something. And maybe when they have kids or something else happens in their life, they might pick up because now they have the knowledge. They might be rusty, but at least they'll have the basic knowledge. Oh, hello? You there?
Yep, I'm here. There was an elephant coming down the stairs.
I think you should build, those I did not, those signs. You should build yourself a sign with an elephant, and like when you cut your microphone of the elephant.
I'm here.
There's an elephant in the closet. Marilyn says, I'm eating pesto pasta with my first tomato of the year and pumpkin seeds from last year. Don't give up. It tastes so good. Yes, that's true. Marilyn, I don't know if you saw, I have 3 pumpkins, naked seeds. Unfortunately, the plant died, so I had to harvest the pumpkins, and I'm hoping they're gonna change color. So I'm gonna have to go back to your video, and when they're all orange, and harvest these seeds and do all those fun things with my naked seed pumpkin. Only flowers on my tomatoes. You still have time. You still have time. Maybe like Remy is having only green fruits.
I have a question for you regarding this.
Yes.
Like, I'm not talking for Melissa because I don't know how long she's got left, but for me, knowing that I only have a few weeks left,
Hmm.
I have so many fruits right now. Should I cut the flowers
Cut the
to
top off of your tomato plants.
the top of my plants?
Yeah. You have 42 days, Manitoba.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have indeterminate plants, or you
No,
only have determinate?
I only have determinate this year. That's why I have more tomatoes than ever.
Okay. So if you have no indeterminate, remove the flowers, like the ones that I want to set fruit so that the plant can concentrate. Maybe Marilyn will have a better answer for you. I'm
Okay.
not that good with determinate. I like my first notion would be remove all the flowers because they do not have 60 days to produce any fruits
Exactly.
anyways.
Yeah.
And the plant is going to go, okay, I'm going to focus my energy now 100%
Fruits.
on the fruits that I have set on the plant. I normally go end of August. I top all my plants of indeterminate tomatoes, not my cherries, only my paste style tomatoes that are indeterminate. I top the heads so that there are no more suckers, nothing else can be done, and they can direct their energy in the green tomatoes will turn red.
Okay. Question for you, Marilyn.
Oh,
Remove the
see,
flowers on it.
I removed the flowers that were not pollinated and cut heads with only flowers on them. Okay, so it's almost what I said.
Yeah, I should remove the flowers then. I'll go
Yeah.
and do that.
Because a determinate will not grow taller. It has like let's just say that it produces 100 flowers. Once it reach 100 flowers, it will not go more. An indeterminate tomato will
Keep.
grow, keep growing, 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 as long as the season gives you the correct conditions. That's why I top my heads of my indeterminate plants in the end of August. Some
Okay.
people do it earlier in like zone 4 and zone 3, but in zone 3, I don't think people grow indeterminate tomatoes because they're like over 80 days. So
Yeah.
I think Marilyn only grows determinate, but she did answer your question.
Yep. Thank you.
I have nothing else I wanted to ask. So I'm gonna thank you. I did forget to reintroduce you because we did have a new viewer at the beginning. If she's still here, if you want to talk a little bit about yourself before you go, Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve. If she's still here, at least you'll know who you are. And Marilyn, if you have a second, can you share Remi's?
Link.
Thank you. My brain's a little bit fried
It's
now.
in the description too, so it's not a
Yes,
big.
I did add it in the description. I don't think they can have access to the description right now, do they?
Well, I do. I have it
You do?
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then the link is in the description. So I'll let you introduce yourself and then I will send all of you your way.
All
Goodbye.
right. Uh, yeah. So I got 5 kids, and I live northern New Brunswick in Canada, growing zone 4. And this year I'm participating in Shed Wars, which is a friendly competition about growing your own food, basically. So I try to do my best. I have a full-time job. My girlfriend is not really interested in that kind of stuff, and she's also affected by Meniere's disease, so she can't put her head down and she can't be too long in certain ways. So I kind of get why she can't help, but it's still that's the big struggle because I have to grow a lot of food for a big family, and
Yeah.
they don't really, really want to help. They'll come once in a while if I'm there, but if I'm there, it's because I have the time to be there. You know what I mean?
They might snack more than help you.
Yeah, well, they know this year they're doing that perfectly. They weigh everything that they bring in. So if they go out, eat blueberries, they'll come in, weigh them, send me a message. Hey, Dad, we weighed them and they were that
Are,
big.
are, are they still doing the junior shed wars?
Yep. Claudie should be ready to do her last video anytime soon because she was doing the raspberries and she was also doing purple beauty peppers. But I have no idea about the purple beauty peppers. I don't know where they are in the garden and I don't know what they would look like.
The purple
So,
beauties?
yeah.
They look like bell peppers. They're
Okay.
three, if my memory's correct, they're three lobes and they are purple right off the start.
Well, I have green and black peppers right now. So I don't know which one the blacks are going to be.
Black?
Well, they're black right now. I don't know. Maybe
Well,
they're starting to turn color, but right now
I
they're
don't
black.
know. I know I had a lilac pepper and those are four lobes, I think, and as soon as they are on the plant, mine was purple.
Okay. Well, I'll go check that again.
Or they might have been another color and then when I went they were purple, but anyways, you get the point. They
Yeah.
turn lilac is like, and I think purple beauty is darker than lilac if my memory is correct.
So maybe they're turning more on the blackish side and then they'll turn
Maybe.
purple. I don't know.
And my gardener has a video of why your peppers are turning black.
Okay, so it means I'm doing something wrong.
I don't think so. I think it's just yeah, it could also be a chocolate pepper, but I think it's the change of temperature. It's been a while. Look, go check it out. I'm going with my memory and I could be wrong, but I know he made a video of why they turn black. Well, I just received a message from my husband, and I'm actually hearing my kids right now, and they're giving him a hard time. So I'm going to tell all of you guys, thank you for coming back. I will go back to my regular schedule of every Sunday, 6 o'clock. And if I'm seeing that 6 o'clock is hard for everyone, I did work on my 2 weeks of vacation on an office, so I might do it later on Sunday night. But until I can get my office ready, I will stick with the Sunday night 6 p.m. So thank everyone for coming. Thanks for chatting with me, Remi.
Thank you for
And I
having me.
hope everyone has a fantastic week. Bye, everyone.
Take care.